All right, what's up, YouTube? In honor of Season 6 of MLB The Show 23 finally being here, I'm going to do a tier builder of the finest card art, the best card art, in my opinion, what I think is my favorites throughout the entire year. All right, in addition to that, guys, I want you to go ahead and check out my Etsy shop where I make these in-game card displays and turn them into a real thing. All right, so I know this is a little dusty, a little scratched up, this case here, but I do sell it with the case, so you can choose that as an option. You can choose to get it without the case if you want something cheaper, but go ahead and check that out. Now, in honor of, like I said, Season 6 coming out, I'm going to do a giveaway of one of these cards of your choice in the case. So all you have to do, there's two rules. Make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel, and make sure you follow me on Twitch. That is in my description down below. All right, and I guess there's three rules. You have to comment down below what card you would like to see. I already did this giveaway a couple months ago. One of my loyal supporters commented on the video, and luckily he got it. So guys, one more thing I noticed on my YouTube analytics, on most of my videos, watch time only comes from 7.6% of my subscribers. So a lot of you guys watching my videos who are not subscribed, now is a great time to do so, as you'll be part of the giveaway if you subscribe, like I said, and then comment on this video of what card you would like. So it would really help me out, guys. I'm trying to reach my goal of 500 subscribers on YouTube. All right, now let's get into this. So you see the tier builder here. Here we have the pool of every single type of card in the game right now, tier builder wise. Card art wise. Now, I think there's some cards that have obviously better pictures for their card, which will make a difference in this tier building thing. But it won't make a difference. I don't want that to factor into the card art. So these cards, the first row of cards, are mostly picture of the player and their actual card from that year. The tops, the actual official tops or Bowman card that they get for that year. And then they just throw this little tab on the right that says rookie, breakout, all-star, veteran, postseason. You know what I mean? So let's start out with live series. So I think the live series, it's solid every year. I went with the diamond, obviously different live series cards. Now this is also the player's actual tops card in the game. So this card, Ronald Acuna Jr., he's a diamond. The diamond design this year was different than years before, but it pretty much looks the same every year. I think it's pretty solid. I like it for what it is. They take the player's actual tops card, they put their own little spin on it, SDS that is, and then you get what you get here. All right, diamond logo in the top right. This year they have the core logo in the top left. So I think it's solid. I like it, but it is pretty basic. But it's just a staple of the game, right? So I'm gonna go into the A tier with the live series diamond. All right, I'm not gonna do a live series like gold, silver, or anything. So that's gonna go in the A tier for me. Like I said, it's just a staple of the game, recognizable, all that. Now, the next couple of cards are probably all going to go in the same tier, right? It obviously depends on the player's picture card. I think all the ones I chose here are pretty cool looking. Like, they're all action shots, maybe not Matt Holliday. So I think it's kind of, obviously, it's a little low effort. Like, they just take the player's card. They put, like I said, rookie, breakout on here. I'm going to go into... I'm actually going to go in the D tier with this one. Like I said, it's just too low effort. It would be cool if it was like bigger, like the tab was bigger on the right. You really can't tell what these cards are until you look at that tab on the right. Okay. These cards don't even really matter that much in previous years, but this year there's captains for each of these series. So there's a rookie. I don't even think there's a rookie captain, to be honest. But I know there's a breakout captain. I think it's Nestor Cortez. And then there's an all-star series captain, which is Bryce Harper. I believe there's a veteran captain. I don't know who it is. But no one ever used them because they were never worth it. As you see, most of these cards don't have like anything above a 90 or a 92. Sometimes some 95s. But these are all going in the D tier for me. Like I said, low effort. Now, so hold on. This is a postseason card. I'm actually going to put this one in the C tier because in previous years, they've done this design where they use like the World Series trophy on it before. I actually really like that one. I know there's a really famous or popular Corey Seager one. I'm going to move this up to B, actually. This one looks really nice. They have the postseason tab on the right. But like this postseason one, where again it's just the player card, too low effort. So I'm gonna put that one down here. All right. So technically they're the same card art type, but clearly this one's different. They have a couple of other cards in addition to Yasmani Grant. Awards. I've always liked awards. This is the World Series Most Valuable Player Award, Raleigh Fingers. Of course, there's other ones. They did a little different. I feel like every year they make it a little different. This Corey Kluber one, the Pedro Martinez Cy Young Award, they threw that red color, like they just blasted it with the red color for Cleveland and for Boston and their colors. But I think this one's one of my favorite awards cards. It just it's clean. There's a lot of clarity within the card itself. The Cy Young design looks cool. Let's take a look at some hitters with it. This Platinum Glove one, it's cool that they finally gave a Platinum Glove. It's just too weird looking. Like there's literally too much light coming from that. The Silver Sluggers always look pretty cool. They're pretty clean. The Sammy Sosa one's pretty clean. They could have messed this one up by adding too much blue color to it, but they seem to do a good job of actually highlighting the player within the card. So you can clearly see Sammy Sosa, and he's got like a small kind of like blue glow like outline to him. So you can differentiate him from like the light in the background. So that one's cool. This Rookie of the Year, like I don't know why they chose green as the default color for all of the Rookie of the Year award cards, but it looks okay. I think it's weird that they just chose that one color and stuck with it for all the Rookie of the Year cards. And then Roberto Clemente award is a cool addition this year. I've never seen that before, so I like that. Gold gloves always look pretty good. They don't blast it with like a gold light. It's just Gold Glove written in gold letters, and then the gold frame. So that looks pretty cool. My favorite Gold Glove card was Kenny Lofton back in MLB The Show 21. All right, so let's go back to the tier builder. All right, so I've always liked awards. I'm gonna put them. There's not really a whole lot of bad looking award cards. I think they're solid. All right, I'm gonna go in the S tier with those. All right, monthly awards. So obviously now, so we have Player of the Month cards. Yeah, all right. So you got all the Player of the Month Lightning cards. The Lightning cards are great. I think they're awesome. The regular monthly awards, let's just take a look at a random one. Ooh, the Retro Lightning's cool too. Hold on. So that's the Retro Lightning. You see it right there. I think it's very solid. But let's go to a random one, not Wander Franco. I've always liked this. It looks pretty clean. For some reason, like I think it was 2020 or 21, it was offset, this little triangle in the middle where it showed their stats. That I didn't like at all. But now that it's centered, it looks a lot better. So I still like this just as much as the Lightning behind it. But the Lightning ones look a lot cooler. So put this. This also has their nice little spin on it, like just the whole monthly awards program. I'm gonna put that in the A tier. It represents the game very well. They use a random picture of the player throughout the year. They don't just use the picture card, so that makes it unique in itself as well. They'll usually a picture from that month where they got the award. Future stars. They've kept this the same for a while. There's different iterations of it, so we can go back to the game and check that out. Right, so you have most of these which have this sort of like futuristic, or not even futuristic, but like computerized, Tron looking background with that grid there. I really like that. And then the light shining behind the player, stars up in the background, obviously to represent future stars. It has a nice little touch to it. I think it's unique, very well done. I'm going to go in the A tier with this one. But you can see some of them are different. These are all pitchers, so we'll find more in the hitters probably. Like this one, Willie Calhoun. Looks like it says future stars in like Microsoft Word, like whatever basic font on the left. I don't like that. So I'm glad they got rid of that, but there's only a few of those. But all of these look really good. I remember, Brandon Marsh this one's been around for a while for some reason. And I think these are well done. I'm going to go in the A tier with this one. So we'll put Francisco Alvarez, A tier. Again, this has nothing to do with the players themselves. I like Francisco Alvarez, but like this is just to show card art, purely card art tier list. Now, the next one has always been one of my favorites. Some people might have a different opinion on this. I am going to go A tier for now. All right. And I'm actually going to rearrange these to represent it better. All right. I think Signature Series, I don't want to say like it's low effort, because they're actually kind of mimicking a Topps signature series that already exist. Like these cards are actually real cards, not this exact design. This is SDS's like own iteration of it, but there are Bowman, Topps, some other, you know, card collector brands that have a series that's very similar to this, where it's the player's autograph. And most of the time, it actually is similar looking to this. So I think SDS actually took a page out of those card collector brands and made it and spun their own image on it. So I've always thought those look pretty good. They look like, you know, they're like the signature. It represents it the way it should. You know, it's just the when you think of that player and the signature series, you think of the team that like is their signature team. You know what I mean? The team that represents them the best, even if they've bounced around. So when you think of, you know, like Babe Ruth, he had a signature series card last year. Obviously, it's the Yankees, you know, and he played for the Red Sox and whatever. Who else has a good signature series card? Like Adam Wainwright. Well, he only played for the Cardinals, right? Miguel Cabrera obviously won World Series with the Marlins, but when you think of Miguel Cabrera, you think of him as a Tiger. So his signature series card in this game is the Tigers. So I like how they did that. They introduced a new style this year with Derek Jeter. So, like, if I do... and Miguel Cabrera, actually. So the signature series card is darker, right? And then the Miguel Cabrera is a dark version of that card. I like the light ones a little bit better, but the dark ones are still very clean. You got the signature down there with a little bit of a glow to it. Really, really cool. All right. So I just put those there to show you. But I think it has an argument for being in the S tier because, you know, of how cool and clean it looks, but it's not really their own unique idea. But I really like how they did that. Prime, I'm going to put in the B tier. Always been kind of like, again, like low effort. They just put a frame around the player's picture card, but the frame is a little bit cooler looking than just having a tab on the right. Like they have a blue frame all the way around it and then Prime at the bottom. Now, the only thing I don't understand about the Prime cards is they're usually not the player's best card. The player's best cards are usually finest retro, or just, you know, finest for that year. That's supposed to be the player's best attributes. They usually come out later in the year. I would have thought just by the name of it, like when you think of a player in their prime, that prime would mean that's like their best, when they're their best. But like this JT card that's not his best card. Other Prime cards, there's not a lot of them, but they're not like their best versions. Topps now, this is pretty low effort as well. I'm going to go C. These are real cards. Topps, you can actually go to the Topps website and buy Topps now cards within, I think, 24 to like 48 hours from when that moment happened. And a lot of people, sometimes they buy a lot of them. You can buy different parallels. Sometimes they have the player's signature on them and they sell them for more money later. So these are actually real cards. I've bought some before. I don't think I have any around me, but I bought some for like my favorite teams in the playoffs when they had a cool moment. It's just a cool memento to remember that player's moment and stuff like that. There's one for Shohei Ohtani, like literally with just his dog. So like it's not even always a player moment within the game. So these Topps now cards are getting a little more ridiculous as time goes on, but this one is literally just Shohei Ohtani celebrates AL MVP award with most valuable puppy. So I mean it's cool, it's funny, but I'm gonna put that in the B tier. Wait, where did I put it? The C tier. Yeah, C tier. Because it's kind of, they're just taking that from Topps. So, all right, Retro Finest. When these first came out, I heard a lot of people say they didn't like them. I love them. I think they look great. The stamp, postage stamp look, they're perfect for actual retro cards like George Brett, like anything before like 2010 at this point. You'll see one for Jake Cronenworth, who was 2021. I'm sure there's one for 22. I think Patrick Sandoval might be 2022. Does that make any sense? I feel like Retro Finest should be reserved for like I said, like at least 15 years ago, but it doesn't really matter. It doesn't take anything away from the card art. I'm going S tier. The thing about the Finest, Retro Finest too, is that they actually look different for different years, right? So if I go to Retro Finest, or if I just go to Finest, that's what it's called. And then there's 2023 Finest. Each like decade gets its own little design. So I remember, so up from like 2000 till 2020, they usually just have this green background with the green lettering on the black background. And then 80s, 70s, and 80s have this orange writing on it. So I think it's cool that they change it throughout the decades. This Chipper Jones one's obviously it's like that's like the best looking one. It just looks so cool. And then the 50s specifically have this gold sort of like shine to it in the numbering in the bottom right corner. I really like that. Richie Ashburn there. And it just looks like older, you know? I think it looks pretty cool. So I think they did a great job with this, and it's just personally one of my favorites. Now, the finest also includes these types of cards. All right, this was from 2019, so you have to remember that when factoring in finest. The Shattered Glass was probably one of the coolest card arts, in my opinion. At least one of my favorites, I should say. I gotta stop saying one of the best, because I know you guys have different preferences, but the Shattered Glass finest is included in the finest series. I think it looks pretty cool. So, retro finest, Shattered Glass, and any other type of finest besides this year. This was from 21. I think it looked pretty cool. They did a good job on this one too. They usually have like, you know, the player in an action shot and then a player in like sort of an emotional shot like this where they're celebrating or doing something like that. And that's the same for this year's finest as well. See Bobby Witt in the left there. All right, so here's the other finest. I'm just putting this here to show you that these two are here. I'll get rid of this one, but I'll leave it up there since it's the same card. Second half heroes. This is gonna go back down to the D tier with all these other guys, and the actual cards themselves look okay, like the player's picture card, but the card, it's, you know, card art. If you're just throwing a tab on it, it's not really much of a artistic addition. But sometimes simple is good. I still like the cards. Milestone, easy. Milestones have always looked cool. They've always been one of my favorites, and we can go to a list of milestones. You'll see there's plenty of iterations of milestone cards. And this is like similar to awards too. Like you have different cards for different achievements. Right? You get a milestone for the cycle, and then Triple Crown, 700 home runs. This one looks pretty cool. 700 home run club, obviously. Like, this might be actually the best. I'm going to go back to the tier builder. I'm going to move this up to the best one. This is probably by far my favorite version of SDS card art, because they do so much with it too, right? It's not just the same background and the same design each time, the same colors. Jimmy Fox, 50 home run club. You got the retired numbers. This one was like okay, but still pretty cool. But you get the point. I'm trying to see if there's any other ones that I'm missing that look very exceptional. Oh, obviously like this 40-70 club, Ronald King Jr. I know some people said they wanted this card for my shop. That one looks awesome. Well deserved. This LE Cycle card, obviously one of the better ones. I like this Shattered Glass kind of version too. Kimbrel and Kenley Jansen got one. It looks like an iced out kind of card. Yeah, here it is. That just looks so cool. So that's gonna stay up there. I'm gonna get rid of this now. But so far in my S tier, I have Milestone, Awards, and then Finest. But Milestone, I think, is leaps and bounds above every card art in this game. Very good job. Now, if this was last year, I would have put the Takashi Okazaki cards in there. Right, so if you guys played the game last year, you already know, but this was an independent artist that SDS hired for this year's, or that year's, cover of the game, Shohei Ohtani, but then they also did cards within the game, like here you see Alfonso Soriano. It's just so cool. This was by far one of my favorite card arts of all time, but it's not going to make this tier list because obviously it's not in this year's game. If it was in this year's game, I'm telling you it would be at the top, even ahead of Milestone. Very, very cool that they did that. I hope they do it more in the future. If they don't bring back Takashi Okazaki, at least they bring back, or they bring in a new artist for, you know, some type of cool thing like that. Now, they did it with this one. I'm going to put this in the A tier. This is the Sanford Green? Yeah, Sanford Green cards. So this was the first iteration of Negro League cards. The fact that they added that program to the series, into the game, and that they did more with it throughout the year is awesome. Obviously paying tribute to the Negro Baseball League Hall of Fame, the museum, And then, the storylines for everyone to learn the history of Negro Leagues. Very, very, very well done. It was exceptional. So this is going to go in the A tier. I thought these were pretty basic. I like the animated version of it. It's kind of like not cartoonish, but it's drawn on. That looks cool. It's job well done, but there's going to be another one that I'm going to put above it that represents it well. Captain Series, this is going to go down into the B tier. Pretty simple. And new cards to the game this year, obviously. This has nothing to do with the captain functionality, what it does, just the card art. I think it looks okay. Again, low effort, but they use a player's picture card, and then they slap this sort of, frame down below. Pretty simple. Pretty simple. I'm actually going to put it in the C tier. Charisma Series. When these first came out, I thought this was like the laziest version of card art, and since it came out so soon, I was like, oh man, SDS is just giving up this year. Like, they're gonna this game's gonna go in the tank, like, in years to come. They turned it around, and I actually really came around to these cards, these Charisma Series cards. So for now, I'm gonna put in the B. So when I said like simplicity, sometimes simple is better, and that definitely rings true with the Charisma Series cards. I think like it depends on the picture, right? I like when they use pictures like this for Ken Griffey Jr. and the one they did for Devers, where he's riding in the cart. Yeah, like I love that. You know what I mean? All it is a simple haze that they put around, like a radial blur kind of, and then call it Charisma Series. Very simple font. It's kind of similar looking to Signature Series actually, but obviously it's a little it's different. So I don't know. I think if I put it in A tier, I think there would be too many people saying it doesn't deserve to be there. And I'm torn between it. So for now, I'll put it atop of the B tier. All right. But I do like it. I'm not knocking it. My initial reaction was not how I feel about it now. All right. What else we got? World Baseball Classic. These are pretty solid. I'm going to go A tier, right? They included the country's logo. We'll move it up a little bit. Let's see. I like it. I like it better than these. So we'll put it right here in the A tier, third down from, the start. And then it's solid. The frame looks good. It's a thick frame, but they have a picture of a player from a moment within the World Baseball Classic. They have their flag in the bottom left, the World Baseball Classic logo in the bottom right, their name on the right. They added some color to the name. There's nothing really boring about this this card. I think it's solid. So there it is. Nothing more to say about that. All-Star Game. So when these first came out, I felt the same way as I did about Charisma Series. Now, let me think about this one. I liked the All-Star Game they did in 21. It was simple. It was the Colorado. It was at the Rocky Stadium, Coors Field. Had a simple background. But without comparing to other years, this year, I mean, it looks pretty cool. A lot of the pictures they did for it were good pictures. They cropped the player out and then threw that background behind it. So, it's kind of tough. I'm going to put it at the end of A tier. I think it looks pretty solid. I think most of these cards are appealing to look at. That blue to red transition, the stars going in between, the stat line at the bottom. You got the year in there above the name. And like I said, I think the pictures they chose for a lot of the cards in this year's game were good for this series, this card series. So I'm going to leave it in A tier. Home Run Derby, it's the same thing. So I should probably leave it in the A tier as well. Incognito. I thought these were pretty cool. All right, I'm going to go here with these. I'm actually going to move we'll leave that there. All right, so Incognito series, there's two different versions of it. I'm going to put them both in the A tier. There's the regular Incognito series, and then there's this parallel Superfractor Incognito series. So these were for like the collection cards, I believe. Hammer and Hank got one, the big unit. There might be a couple of others, but those are the only two I can think of off the top of my head, where they put a different spin on it. You see In the regular Incognito series, you have the player's team's color, and then in the Superfractor version, it's the same like blue, sort of pink and gray and red like version of it. So I like that one a little bit better. I'll put it a little bit higher than this one, although since it's a new card art and they did a good job of it, cropping out the player, adding that little animated thing behind it, the player's nickname, even though some of the nicknames are kind of weird, and like I've never heard some of these players be called that, most of them are pretty good. So I like that it's kind of unique in that way. I'm gonna move both of them up actually. So it's very unique and it's a well done card. All right. Kaiju, this was new this year. Sort of a weird. I hate mini seasons and the World Global Baseball League or whatever it's called. But the card art for Kaiju, I think it's one of my favorites. The David Wright one looks cool. Corey Seager, Joe Mauer. Some of them look kind of bland, but some of them have a lot going on in the background where there's a lot more saturation. Just a little bit more going on, and I like those ones better. Mexico City, not bad. It's actually pretty cool looking, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna put in the B series. Nothing to do with the program, just the card art. And the only problem I have with this is the logo at the top's really small. The logo on the right being offset just looks weird to me. Other than that, the colors are well done. They highlighted the player. I guess I could put this in, for the arguments I made for the other cards in the A tier, I could put this in A tier, but I'm going to move it to the top of B tier and just leave it there. All right. London series, same thing. I like that they did this. I'll put it in the B tier. But I think it looks pretty good. They kind of use the same format, just that thick frame, and then the player in the middle, and then they try to make it somewhat tailored towards something London related with the colors and the font. So we'll go B tier with that one. All right, this one, Kinjim. I think this is Kinjim, and then this one is Sanford Green. I think I got that right. Kinjim will go in S tier. This Rube Foster one in particular is great. Obviously, the other ones you have John Donaldson. I like that. That's somewhat, Satchel Paige. I think Hilton Smith, he got one that looks, like John Donaldson's, where he's a pitcher and then he's a fielder, he's a hitter. He does everything. So they have like different styles, versions of him within the same card. Very well done. Again, a tribute to the Negro Baseball League. Very cool. These are pretty cool cards, and the art on it is very good. So they probably brought in an artist for this one as well, or they used someone in house. But whoever they hired, they didn't. I don't know if they specifically gave them credit, but they did a great job. 2023 All-Star Game. This, in compared to other years, for their year's All-Star Game, looks pretty good. I like it a lot. I'm gonna go A tier with this one, and I'll put it above this All-Star Game. I think it looks cooler. You have the Seattle Needle in the background, which is what was really cool about this card was there were some rotating ones. So I know Adley already used Ronald, so it's not coming up. Cool. But Adley Rutschman had the rotating card. Let's go to the game. Yeah, so you see right there, it's rotating. Obviously, you can't, if you wanted this card for my shop, you couldn't get it rotating. But it's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool addition. I would put that in either A tier or S tier. I would put this card in S tier. I'm gonna do that actually, since there's two types of designs for that. And hopefully this is working now. There we go. All right, so I'll go S tier with this version of the 2023 All-Star Game. All right, so we'll go with this version of the 23 All-Star Game in the S tier. And then we'll go with this version in the A tier. Draft class. Not my favorite. I don't think it's bad, but it's just not my favorite. And I mean, it's very similar to these two cards here. I think it looks okay. You got the number that they were drafted in a big font on the right. That's cool. So it's sort of like it highlights what they did. You got the draft logo. Picture of the player is kind of small. That's the only thing I don't like. Like, I feel like this frame and this giant block down here on the right takes up too much space. Like, you should give more of that to the player, I think. So that's going to go in the B tier. 2023 Home Run Derby. I'll put this in the A tier. I think it looks pretty solid above these two All-Star games. I like it a lot. There's no rotating ones for this, I think, but it's usually a picture. I think every year they do this. It's a picture of the player holding the home run derby card. So if we do Vlad Senior home run derby, yeah, he's holding it. I know they did Ryan Howard, but I don't think he's holding the trophy. No, he's not. But he did win that year, and I like these cards. So I'll put them in the A tier. Very similar to the All-Star game itself, so we'll go there with it. Yeah, I'll leave it there. Snapshot. This is a tough one for me. A lot of the Snapshot ones really don't look that great. It's an okay concept. I'll put it in the B tier. All right. It's just a picture of the player at some point. You know, a lot of them were like that red carpet, whatever. Mookie Betts, Snapshot. Yeah, the red carpet show from a certain year, like at the All-Star game events or whatever. The funniest looking one to me is Joe Mauer's. I don't know. It's just the shirt. Something about the shirt cracks me up a little bit. Some of them are really cool. Like Nolan Ryan has a great Snapshot series photo, you know? So I think this one depends on the photo they chose for it. You know, this is tough. I think you can make an argument for A tier. So I'm going to put this at the top of B tier. I'm changing my mind on it as I'm looking at them because I know there's some pretty cool ones. Like Randy Johnson's is actually pretty cool. You know, highlighting his photography career as he changed over and retired from baseball. So it's cool that they did that, chose certain photos like that. I think you can make an argument for A tier. But again, kind of lazy. This one was tough for me too. It's hard to look at. That's my only problem with it. It's definitely unique. It's just hard to look at with all that's going on in the background. And the player, they made it hard to like outline the player and make it stand out from the background itself. I don't know. I kind of like them. Again, it's unique. I like if it's a unique card. I usually it gives me sort of brownie points, style points. I don't want to overload the A tier, but I really don't know which one of these I would put in the A tier. If anything, it would probably be this one. So I'm gonna put this. Yeah, I'm gonna leave this in the B tier. Like that green that's going on the TV screen and the purple. I get what they're trying to do. Like, you know, TVs would, you know, they would have that color, those like little color breaks in there sometimes. So it's cool. It's definitely unique. It's reflective of what they're trying to go for. So I think they nailed what they were going for. But I don't know. Like I said, it's just kind of hard to look at. 2023 finest. These are pretty cool. Yeah, I'll show you in the game. It has like a glow to it, and there's a little sheen coming across slowly as you look at it, and there's like light kind of coming from, you know, whatever. What's the thing you call it? It's just a point behind it in the background that's coming towards you. I like it. I'm gonna put it in the A tier. I think it's good. Now, where in the A tier would I put it? I think finest is really good every year. So this year's finest, particularly, I like. I'm going to put it right here. All right, next to his teammate there. So 2023 finest, A tier, right in the middle of the pack of it. I don't have much to say about it, but it's solid. They got the player on the diamond, like I said, and they have a picture, like usually like an emotional picture where they're celebrating or doing something behind their action shot. So this was him sliding into home plate. And then there's him, like, I don't know, yelling towards the crowd in the back. Let's see. So Freddie Freeman, you know, most of them are like this, where it's like the player's at bat or he's swinging the ball or throwing the ball. And then just a picture of him doing something behind it bigger. All right, so we'll go through this one more time. In the S tier, we have the Milestone card, which is my favorite of all time. And probably will be as long as they keep making it unique like they do. And then we have awards finest, which includes the retro finest. We have the Kin Gym, and then the 2023 All-Star Game with the few select cards that have the rotating cards up there in the S tier. And then close second, we have the Signature Series. We have Superfractor Incognito Series, Incognito, Kaiju Monthly Awards, 23 Finest, 23 World Baseball Classic, Future Stars Live Series, Kin Gym, or Sanford Green, and then the other ones you see down there. All right. I added the 23 Postseason World Series card in the A tier And then I separated it from the 23 postseason card because I think they change it as the divisions or the series go on. Division Series, Championship Series, World Series. I think the World Series ones look a little bit better. In the B tier, so we have that card, the 23 postseason, Great Race of 98, Snapshot, Mexico Series, London Series, Draft, Charisma, Postseason, and then Prime. C tier, Tops Now, Captain, and then D tier, nothing against these cards. I think SDS even knows these are a little bit low effort, but we have just all these cards with the tab on the right and the picture player card from that year. So that's second half heroes, postseason, rookie, all-star, veteran, and breakout. All right. So with that being said, make sure you subscribe to the channel to be entered into the giveaway. All right. The giveaway is going to be for a player of your choice in this display case. All you have to do is subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitch, which I'll put down in the description below, and then comment which player you would like if you were to win the giveaway. All right. And then also comment down below what you thought your favorite card art was from this year. Season 6 will have plenty of video ideas that I can work on. So if you have any theme teams that you would like to see me try out, let me know and I'll try to get them done. All right. So other than that, thanks for watching.